So what was she selling?
She was selling her body, but she was selling meat.
So can you define the word feminism?
Trying to find the word feminism.
It can be in your own words.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think because I would say for me, I'm not really a feminist, but I really respect women. I would never do anything to hurt women. But then again, I'm not really sure what it means to be a feminist, to be honest with
Do
you.
you want me to tell you like the dictionary definition?
Sure, please do.
Alright, so the definition of a feminist is someone who believes in the social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. So it's basically someone who believes that men and women are equal.
Okay.
Alright.
Then in that case, then I am. Like, women deserve as like equal respect as men, and that should never be a question. So, yes, that is definitely.
Alright. And so, what do you think we, like, as people or as society can do to just improve, like, those messages and like, those negative, commercials or advertisements and things like that?
Well, I definitely think that I want to say maybe because obviously I don't know the first commercial wouldn't affect and for us I don't really eat fast food anyway, so I feel like fast food is one of those things that is using those commercials more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, if people were to just kind of maybe boycott the fast food restaurants like Wendy's or McDonald's or whatever companies are using those kind of commercials, and as well as just making more of those kind of videos like the second commercial, kind of asking people what they think about women and what they think about feminism in general, how it affects their lives.
Do you think things like that are common though? Just advertisements that have women?
Yeah, I feel like it is pretty common.
All right. So you look at this and just tell me what you see.
A hairy butt, a guy, tights.
All right. And so did you notice that they're pretty much selling the same product in the same pose and things like that?
Yeah.
And why do you think that it's just strange to see a man like that?
Because you usually don't see guys advertising clothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty, out of the ordinary.
So it's another American Apparel ad. So I'm just going to show you that. You just tell me what you see. It's just
A guy wearing a plaid shirt.
Mm-hmm. Would you buy this product?
I like the shirt. I'd buy it.
All right. I'm going to show you the next one. All right. You just tell me what you see.
The same plaid shirt, unbuttoned.
Mm-hmm. But what's different in this picture?
It's unbuttoned. And the way she's posing is different.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see like a tiny bit of her breast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So you notice that both of these people, you can give the microphone if you want. So both of these people were selling the same product, right?
Yeah.
But one of them, the woman, in order to sell the product, she was wearing the plaid shirt in a revealing way. And do you think there's something wrong with that? Why do women have to wear revealing clothes in order to sell something?
I feel like it's because society feels like in order for us to sell anything, you need to be like sexual and show your body off. But I feel like you don't need to if you don't want to. But if she does, then hey, why not? But if she doesn't, then she doesn't have to.
All right, and I'm just gonna ask you a few more questions. You're doing awesome. All right. All right. So, do you know what the word feminism is? And can you define it for me in any way, based on what you know?
Someone who believes in equal rights for both sexes.
You are correct. And would you call yourself a feminist?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
All right. And do you think feminism is relevant in society today? And after you just saw those ads, do you think feminism is relevant?
I think it's super relevant. There's still unequal opportunities that you see every single day, and I don't get paid the same as a man does.
Yeah.
So, what the hell is that?
You right. All right. And do you think women have achieved equality in any way?
Have what?
Achieved equality?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we've moved up a lot from the past, of course. But
And do you think there's any areas that we still need to improve on?
like the wealth gap. just the stereotype that like we have, like women are supposed to be like caring and like in the home kind of thing, and it's like 21st century. We should move on from that.
All right. And what do you think of just the sexualization of women in media? So when you look at rap music videos, women are kind of just in the background, or advertisements, things like that. What do you think about that in the media?
I feel like it's, I don't know, kind of degrading, but I feel like if she feels like she wants to do that, she totally can.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't just be like some background.
Yeah.
I'd be like head on center. You know what I'm saying?
And when young women, like girls that are our age, or girls that are developing, they're in their teens, and when they see advertisements where women, they have to wear revealing clothing and things like that, or if you've seen any Super Bowl advertisements where women are just used as, just props in the background to sell like burgers or something like that, how do you think that affects them when they grow up, like just mentally?
I feel like it hinders like growth in particular, and I feel like you have to be like a specific person in order to succeed, and in order to be like looked at as a like cute or like attractive and whatnot. And, it's very hard to like grow up to those standards.
And what do you think we, like as a society, can do in order to improve on that?
Just show different like varieties of women around the world.
Do you recognize that ad?
Is it American Apparel?
Yes. And do you see anything wrong with the advertisement?
Well, yeah, her booty's just like sticking out, and it says hello.
All right. So, how do you feel about this photo?
I don't.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
It does actually. Very uncomfortable.
And would you agree that both the man and the woman are in the exact same clothing and the same pose?
Yes, they are.
And why do you think that you feel differently about the two of them? Why is it that it's okay for the woman but not the man?
Well, I think it's because her ass doesn't have any hair on it, and his is extremely hairy. It doesn't look clean.
So can you tell me what that is a picture of and what he's selling?
It is a man wearing a flannel, and he is selling many different colored flannels.
All right, so I'm going to show you the next shirt, or the next ad. All right, so here's the next one. And can you tell me what she's doing?
And she's posing naked, shirtless. Well, she doesn't have anything in her breast area, and she's also selling a flannel.
And did you notice that they're the same flannel?
Yes, exactly the same.
Why do you think the woman has to be naked in order to sell the product?
I think it would appeal to more sellers because she's naked. That's not really how that works. I would have bought it whether she was shirtless or not. She doesn't have to be naked to sell the flannel. I mean,
Do you know what the word feminism is? And can you define it for us? And
I heard of the word feminism, and I feel like I have an idea of what it is, but to be honest, I never looked into it, and I never actually researched the word. But I mean, Twitter, there's a lot of feminism on Twitter, but I really don't know the definition. I really don't know what it's about.
definition of feminism is, or feminist, is someone who believes that men and women have equal rights, whether it's socially, politically, or economically. Now, do you believe you're a feminist?
Definitely. Women have to reveal their bodies in certain ways to sell products, whereas men can be fully clothed.
Okay, Justin, what do you see? Do you recognize this ad?
I can see that it's an American Apparel ad, and her butt seems to be exposed.
Do you see, is that what's wrong with this image, or do you see anything wrong with this image?
I think it's unnecessary, considering I don't really know what it's even advertising.
How do you feel about the woman being objectified and being used as a prop in this ad?
I think it's really unnecessary, no matter what the purpose of the ad is. I think their point can be crossed in a more appropriate way.
Okay, do you think the ad would have the same effect if the roles were reversed, like if it was a man instead?
Depending on the purpose of the ad, possibly.
Okay, now, this is the same image except it's replaced with a man.
Okay.
How do you feel about this?
I think if this was shown, it would definitely raise a lot more eyes than the woman. Yeah.
Okay, so looking back on the one with the woman, what kind of message do you think this kind of ad gives to women and young teenage girls who see it?
I think it makes them feel like it's okay to do, or like it's appropriate in society.
What kind of message do you think it gives to young men and teenage boys?
I think it sexualizes the ass for men. Yeah.
Okay, here's another American Apparel ad. Okay, okay. Can you tell us what you see?
Flannel shirt.
Would you buy that flannel shirt?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Okay, this is the same flannel shirt. Do you notice a difference?
Yes. Her shirt is open.
Why do you think that they need to have this woman naked or basically naked and the man just dressed normally?
I'm not sure. They think it would seem more appealing if it's able to be worn like that, like to be showcased in that way.
Okay. Can you define feminism? And are you a feminist?
I wouldn't say I'm like a full-fledged feminist, but I support the cause, and I think feminism is like equal rights for women socially, politically, and in other aspects of society.
So, the definition of feminism, like in the dictionary, is a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. So, not particularly towards women being equal, but towards all sexes. Would you say that you are a feminist?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think feminism is relevant in society today? Why do you feel that way?
I think it's mostly impactful on the workforce and how women don't have equal opportunity with certain jobs just solely based on their gender, not on their qualifications.
Do you think women have achieved equality?
Not yet, but I think it's getting there.
Overall, what do you think of the sexualization and objectification of women in the media?
I think it's definitely unnecessary. Like, I think we can appreciate women, but not in the way media portrays them to be.
I don't think it's right that girls have to do this just so companies can get more money. Like, why are women treated something so low when really we should all be treated more equal than to have to do this? If a female were to see a male do that, then I think we'd all have different opinions on it and think it might be a bit more okay, but really it's not okay at all just to do it.
Okay, I'm going to show you this image. What do you think of this image?
This image isn't right either.
Did you notice it's the same pose and same shirt?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of message do you think this gives to young men and boys who see women being objectified in ads like these?
I think young men might think it's more okay to treat women as like a lesser kind, which isn't okay at all because we're all human. I don't understand why people should treat each other differently. I guess so they could get men to buy it, so they could get more people to buy it, because it might make women feel better about themselves when really it's all just going to be the same.
Can you define feminism for me?
I don't really know what feminism really is, but it feels like
having females be treated differently from how everyone else should be treated. It's like women's issues that are happening all around the world, and it's just not right. I think, yeah, I'm a feminist, but not like a hardcore feminist. But it's a good thing to just support equality in all genders.
Do you think feminism is relevant in society today?
I think feminism is really big in society today. Like, I see it pretty much all over social media, and it's not really on the news as much, but it's worldwide.
Do you think women have achieved equality today?
I think women have achieved some equality today, but not to the full extent where we're all actually equal.
What do you think of this image? How do you feel about this image? Do you notice it's the same exact shirt and pose as the girl? You don't like it? What message do you think this kind of ad gives to women and young teenage girls to see it?
It gives a message that women are objects. Yeah, basically.
What about to young men and teenagers? Teenage boys.
About the man pick.
About the woman.
Yeah. Oh. Shows that like it's okay for women to do that. I guess. Like that's the message that they're trying to portray.
Okay. Would you say that you're a feminist?
Yes, I would say I'm a feminist.
Can you define the word for me?
Oh, you trying to put me on the spot?
Oh, you guys are filming. Oh man.
I would say feminist is like
All right, we'll get the corner.
the theory or ideology of fighting against women's rights because men are more superior than the objectified women species.
Okay, well the official dictionary definition of feminism is someone who believes in, or like a feminist is someone who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. So,
I believe that.
you believe that?
I believe that.
What does feminism mean to you, though?
To me, feminism means that honestly, it just means like inequality for women. That's like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of feminism.
Do you think feminism is relevant in society today?
Yeah, as you can see, the picture of the ad, so it's more alive today in society.
Do you think women have achieved equality?
I say yes from like back then, like that they're more equal than they were back then, but still not as equal. David, go on. What are you doing?
Okay, thank you.
Hey, quit flicking me out, David.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
It's weird because those are just like neutral clothes, but you know you see that like discrepancy between like men and women. So.
And is the sexualization of women's bodies, women having to like wear, like being in revealing clothing or, being sexualized in advertisements, something you see often?
Yeah, this is something you see often. The Carl's Jr. one, it's just like, it's very like objectifying and sexualizes women. And oh yeah, what is define feminism? Okay, feminism is a movement to tend to the inequalities that women face. I'm a feminist because there's a lot of inequalities that women face and a lot of microaggressions that women face. And I feel that those really need to be attended to because no one should ever have to be put through that or struggle because of those things. Yeah, no one should ever have to experience that kind of stuff. And I'm also a feminist because it's such a strong title that people react strongly to, and it's really needed. Like you really need to go by that title because there are so many people in power, and there are just so many people in general that don't see the the systematic problems in our world. You put like more women and give more women jobs or stuff like that, give them more opportunities, because they normally won't. But normally, men will be chosen over them. A lot of people see feminism as like man-hating, or they're like, oh, they only care about women, and they hate men. And no, that's not the case. The reason there's still advertisements like that is because the men who sexualize the women and objectify them, they're like, they're the ones that are in power. They're the ones that have all the positions. They're the ones who make the ads, basically, and that's why women are misrepresented.
He is wearing a flannel, and he is selling the flannel on AmericanApparel.com.
And then I'm going to show you the next.
Oh. She is also wearing a flannel, showing a lot of goodies here for AmericanApparel.com.
So do you think that's something that you see commonly when you look at advertisements for clothes?
Well, definitely. There's definitely disparities between the men and the women selling things. Like, it could be a macaroni and cheese commercial, but then the girl will be like with nothing on, and then, flaunting and or being forced to kind of flaunt her body, whereas the man doesn't have to degrade himself.
Can you define feminism? And if you're not really sure, can you just say it in your own words, or what you know basically?
Well, I don't know the exact professional definition, but I would think that it has to do with female empowerment and being able to have the same credibility as men.
And do you know any negative stereotypes about feminists, or have heard of any?
Yes, that feminists are annoying and just running their mouths, and kind of the stereotype that, oh, it's just the woman, the loud feminist, and they just need to be quiet and stuff like that.
Do you say you're a feminist after reading that definition?
Yes. I'll definitely say that feminism is relevant today as far as the sexuality subject goes, like women being hypersexualized versus men selling products, or even in the sports industry, because I love sports and stuff. So women playing the sport, they usually don't get the same promotion as the male do. They normally don't get paid as much.
When you see negative advertisements where they're telling you that you have to look a certain way, or you have to use your body to sell something, how do you think that affects you both personally, but also young girls and young boys growing up when they see advertisements?
Well, it definitely affects the young women, because when you're young, you're easily influenced by media. So when you see on television, if it's constantly telling you, oh, well, you have to barely wear any clothes to be basically worth something, or to be successful in selling a product. You're saying, okay, in order to sell this product, you have to wear no clothes. So subliminally, you're saying, oh, in order for me to be successful, I have to degrade myself, and that is unfair. And then as far as the male goes, that also affects young men, because they're getting that message of, oh, well, I'm a man. When I get older, I don't have to degrade myself as much as the women do, because they also get that message that, okay, they have to do this, I don't have to do this, I am superior in that sense.
Or just send out a more positive figure for girls growing up and boys and things like that.
Well, I would definitely say you could start with kind of what you just did with me, giving the clear definition of feminism and what it is, so that people know, kind of get the clear message, so they won't think of it as negative. And then also just kind of spread the message and get people aware of how it affects men and women, so that you have a large support system.